Come on. Yeah. Go.
Who goes on Google Earth and searches around for boulders?
For elevations.
And
it's the way his brain thinks.
I mean, come on, talk about commitment.
I mean, this guy, I don't think you people realize, like, every night scouring Google Earth.
It was just like a daily occurrence. Like Brendan's just downstairs on Google Earth, just looking for rocks again.
I would either wake up to text from Brendan or get text really late at night from Brendan of just screenshots of things that he found on Google Earth.
That doesn't look like much to the untrained eye, but that is a talus field. It just looks like a big smudge of gray for the most part, but that's a lot of boulders right there. That's a big boulder.
He did come to me when he found that area and was kind of like, I just found, I think, what is a huge boulder field up in Canada in this like really remote area. I think that's what those are. He's like, I really want to go see if that's really what it is. And I kind of just brushed it off because I'm like, okay, like, will he ever actually go to Canada, like, and really do that? I should have known, absolutely.
I do remember him telling us that he went there, and some of the exploring trips are kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly thought he was a little crazy. You know, like, really? Canada? I mean, like, how often are you going to be able to go there? I mean, that's like a 5-hour, what is that, a 6-hour trip?
He came to me one day and said, all right, I've been talking to this guy online who lives in this area, and he's willing to meet me there. His name is Gus Alexandropoulos. And I was like, well, that's not real. That's not a real name. That's not a real person.
I'm Gus Alexandropoulos, and I can tell you, I'm a real person.
I went up to Canada with no expectations.
Entering into Canada real soon, the bridge to Canada. We got the Sioux Locks right over there. Gorgeous. Waiting at the border. I'd like to film crossing the border, but pretty sure that's probably illegal. It'd be cool.
We traveled along this highway 546 and we realized that just down the whole stretch of the highway, just rock was everywhere.
He came home from that trip and he was like, all right, like it's go time. Like this is for real. Like who can I corral? What friends can I convince to just look at these rocks, explore the area, see if it's something that we could make into something?
Aaron, Bob, and I had this fascination with trying to climb wherever we possibly could. And so we heard about some rock up near Lake Superior Provincial Park, which is about an hour north of Sault Ste. Marie. We went up there and found that there was a grid bolting of stone. If I'm thinking through the timeline, I think that we were probably up there climbing with, climbing in Lake Superior Provincial Park area around the same time that Brendan had gone up and climbed with Gus at the Eyeball. So then that winter, we went up to explore the Eyeball further. So when we hiked up to Eyeball, we took pads because we legitimately thought we were going to be able to climb. I don't know what we were thinking. Maybe out west, you get the ability for the sun to dry things off, right? But not only was it probably 4 or 5 feet high, the snow drifts, but it was into the gullies where the landings would be. It was on top of the boulders. It was everywhere. I mean, for those that haven't been up to the UP or into Canada, it's a different level of snow.
Oh. Shoot. Want to try the moves though. Short people beta. Wow, it would have been really hard. There's all this. This.
So no move V0.
Yeah.
Fail.
Let's not tell anybody about this one.
I would say at first I didn't think much would come of it. And I was like, okay, we'll just see what happens. And then it started to really happen. And I was like, okay, am I a little annoyed that he's like, because this is now wanting to be like an every weekend thing.
So we were on the road, 546, and I think that I was driving, if I recall, and I looked left and I just slammed on the brakes because there are just these boulders all along the road. So we scrambled around there, and that really led us to finding all the other stuff that was in the area.
personality. Yeah. No one's just going to want to be like, oh, let's go find this random place in Canada. And then, oh, we found this random place. Okay, let's keep going up there every weekend after weekend after weekend.
Brendan, he is a wild child. He's a quirky dude. He is psyched and he's persistent and motivated, to be honest. Like, I have no idea how many times Brendan has come out here. I'm sure he doesn't know at this point either.
Across the border a fair bit of times. The amount of money I've spent on tolls between the Mackinac Bridge and the border between the United States and Canada is excessive. I believe it amounts to $16 per trip, and per season for a whole year is probably, I don't know, at least 10 to 20 trips. Do that math. Minimum of 10, if not more like 15 trips a year. Times that by 5, year 6 now. It's a lot of trips.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about with all these tolls. Like, what about gas? Like, we paid so much money in gas to go up there.
Good, how are you?
Hey, where are you going?
North of Elliott Lake.
What's going on up there?
Rock climbing, hiking, camping.
What's in the truck, in the van, other than clothing and food and climbing gear?
Camping gear. Thank you.
Anything in the car besides
Dude, that was a weird one.
food or clothing? You like yelled at him. Camping gear!
So there was a boulder that was on the side of the road, on the side of 546.
Directly right there, right where we parked, where we climbed our first boulder problem.
Spray painted in orange and black spray paint, Bush Nookie Rock. Initially, Brendan wanted to call it Bush Nookies. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh no.
Well, there was the Dreamers, and then there was Bush Nookies, and they're like, the Dreamers is just really arrogant, and Bush Nookies is offensive.
The only rock that we're ever gonna find is called Bush Nookies.
You know, Bush Nookies just was spray painted on the rock.
Like, how am I gonna tell my parents? You know, like, cool, Mom, we found this place and it's called Bush Nookie.
One of the trips that Brendan and I were up there, I nicknamed it just the Nooks, and that name stuck.
When you come out to the Nooks, it's a totally different experience, and especially if you're someone who really loves the outdoors, and you know, that's the reason, big reason why I got into climbing. Coming to the Nooks really has that part of it. You're out camping, you're out in the wilderness, and it's beautiful landscape, makes you feel good, makes you feel excited to be here.
Giant cliff, there's gotta be boulders. There's some. I don't know how tall they are.
That's wild. These conditions, they're legit.
Swing and a miss happens. One cool boulder, not worth it. Back to the van and try again.
We'll probably drone on the way out though.
Oh, stop and throw it up? Yeah.
Throw up the drone.
Middle of April, it's hailing. What is happening?
And the sun is out now.
winning all the shots, bro.
He's fine.
All the shots. All the shots.
Maximum flight altitude reached. Maximum flight altitude reached.
Thank you. Well, boys, I don't see much. All right. Where to next, boys? Oh, are you guys not the developers? Shit. All right.
When Brendan was young, he was just a goofball. I mean, he was the most fun-loving kid that you could expect.
He loved the outdoors. If we were going backpacking, he thrived on that. That was like the best.
Yeah.
To be out in the wilds and...
Yeah. You'd be looking for Brendan in the yard, like, where is Brendan? You know, at a young age, and you'd start looking up and you'd see him in trees. He loved to climb trees at a very young age. He just excelled at climbing early on. So we went out to Colorado, and we were at a campground, and they had a climbing wall, indoor climbing wall, and he and his cousins, I mean, they couldn't get enough of that. And it's probably the first time that we experienced Brendan on a true climbing wall.
So when I first met Brendan, he was not climbing at all. I met him when he was still really into fishing and hunting and roller skating. I spent almost every weekend with him at the roller rink, or, you know, he was hunting up at his cabin. Probably about 2 years after we met, a friend of his invited him to a climbing gym. I think it was Inside Moves. And something just kind of clicked for him that first time. He said it was just like this giant puzzle. Everything changed after that first time. He was kind of hooked right after that.
And then he'd want to go to the Red River.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are too young to do that with no parental guidance. But then those older gentlemen, Dan Blake, Adam Page,
yeah,
they took him under their wing.
they were mentors to him.
Because we didn't climb, we didn't know much about it, but we were learning.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're great guys.
I believe Adam Page and I kind of got to know Brendan just through climbing. And gradually, like, Brendan started like coming to my wall, my home wall, to do a few sessions. I'd be at Adam's place and Brendan was there. And we started doing trips together. And so that really solidified like me getting to know him.
Like, you know, like Chris Sharma, you know, like, and everybody was always talking about like, Sharma has no technique. He can't do anything right. He's so strong, but he just doesn't know how to climb. That was Brendan. He's a strong dude, but like, he didn't know how to climb.
And I actually did not like Brendan the first time I met. Sorry, Brendan. I thought he's a bit of an ego. Honestly, it was probably like a couple months before him and I actually like kind of talked to each other. And I was like, oh, you're just like me. So we both have like a social awkwardness to us.
I think he just found his best friends. I think he found, people to push him and really inspire him, and kind of saw his talent.
So I think Brendan initially, when he got into climbing, like, he was pretty obsessed with it right away as far as wanting to become really good, becoming the best that he could, and excelled pretty quickly. But it was initially kind of about chasing grades and going to all these different climbing areas and trying to climb the hardest things that he could.
Climbing, there was like always a new goal. And that is so Brendan. He is so goal oriented. And once he sets his mind to something, he's gonna do it. He started to record things a lot more, and so he's able to show me things a lot more. And I just saw his natural ability and his talent for it. I think there was a little bit of a flip switch for me where I was like, oh wow, like, he's really good at this. And as he matured, just in general, he was able to kind of put that passion more into words, more than, yeah, it's just a hobby. It's just something I like to do. It's more of like, no, like this is something that like I get to use my mind for, and like what it was doing for him mentally too. Like I could appreciate it a lot more. It was something I could see that he truly loved.
It kind of culminated, I guess, with our trip to Waco. That was a big thing. But it seems like after we got back from Waco, I think that's kind of when the shift to the Nooks really started to take over in his life. And he definitely became obsessed with going to the Nooks and developing the Nooks and climbing hard things and finding like the projects that were inspiring to him, and pushed his own personal climbing as well. But I think it became a lot less about chasing grades per se, and more about just loving climbing and the whole developing process.
Climbing is an interesting sport. It should actually probably be called falling.
Oh, shoot.
If you climb, you will fail more times than you succeed.
Stand up.
That's what I did.
Oh. Come on, slow. Okay.
Go for top.
Dad!
Yes.
Come
on. Get the heel. Come on.
Come on. Fuck you! Oh my god! So stupid! Ah!
Developing has an even larger chance of failure, even more so than climbing, because you're trying to go find rock that has never been climbed before. And even if you do find it, it's not 100% certain that you will be able to climb it.
It's so spongy. Fire. So this is what I pictured when I picture fire damage and it's super late fall, basically winter. So there's no leaves, no nothing I can see for at least 70 yards. I don't know, I guess we'll go check out. There's a big one over there. And I don't know, this is supposed to be more than it shows, but I guess we'll go exploring. We just finished our first day exploring, kind of like the burnt forest. Went to the most concentrated area to explore and to see what these boulders were about, because they're so visible from satellite. And we saw a bunch of boulders and they're completely big enough to climb, but are they worth it to kind of turn into an area? Like that's if you try to think about it in that aspect of stepping back and like, yeah, could I go have fun climbing those boulders? Yes. But as a developer trying to create and grow the Nooks, is it something that others would go to? I don't think so at this point. There's something to be said about not knowing for sure that you're gonna find boulders, and then you stumble across boulders that are climbable and good and easy walk or whatever, and it's perfect, everything lines up. And you just like get this whole sense of joy and like crazy amazement. But that doesn't happen very often. Usually it's a giant disappointment and you're left with a terrible walk back to the car. But when you do have those moments, it's pretty special. So in terms of development, this boulder right here has got to be like top 5 coolest boulders I've found.
every single face that I look at has just got potential for just like amazing lines of all grades.
Light pole. Don't know.
Solid.
Sometimes we'll find a boulder, something that he's really stoked on. The problem is that boulder is like 6 hours away, and now he's got to go home and train for it. And one of the things that we struggle with in Michigan is there's not a lot of rock to climb on in our state. So the only way to really train for that is indoors.
Whenever I climb on the kilter board, instead of taking breaks, I like to usually set a bunch of things. And I like to set everything from mimicking outdoor climbs to super crazy indoor climbs that you can really only do on boards like this. And the kilter board just like gives such a variety from roof climbing almost all the way up to vert climbing and everything between. I'm torn between what I like and what I don't like because part of me, my strengths are very powerful moves, and the kilter board is very friendly to those moves, so I can set some crazy 360 moves and things that look really cool and things that I'm really good at. But however, that's not what you get with outdoor climbing, and that's definitely not what you get at the Nooks, whereas it's more delicate. There's a war going on between myself that likes to climb crazy things and part of myself that likes to climb really delicately and perfect. So it's honestly both. I like to do both, and it just depends on the day and how my fingers and body are feeling, really.
Howdy.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, yes. How do we do this here?
We can get sexy if we
Whoa!
want. Whoa! Brendan's gonna get one now. Just because of that.
What?
How did there it is. Love that.
It's gonna be a while.
Give it backwards.
Yeah, it looks like it, but
Good enough?
yeah.
And there's a stick. Ready?
Yep.
Bye. You're crushing it. You are at the end of the rope. Way better than Bob. Oh, I'm not as good as Chris. We're going the wrong direction. This might be the way, boys. Backwards.
I think my way was the way.
That's not what you want.
And yeah, he kind of just learned along the way. He didn't have knowledge, he didn't have a plan, but he kind of figured out what tools to take and what he needed. And yeah, I just kind of took it one trip at a time.
Most people don't understand or know that cleaning a boulder is extremely tedious and it requires a lot of manual labor. Like that boulder wasn't just there the way it was when they walk up to it. Somebody went there first. Somebody found that boulder first. Someone made a trail for you to get to that boulder. Someone cleaned off that boulder.
That is a lot of pine needles.
It's gonna make a nice glow.
I don't know if this is the top out, but this is a sweet jug lip. Jug lip. It's gonna come up right here. So I'll actually clean that first. Maybe. Oh, shit. And there's a bit of a unknown factor when it comes to scoping out lines. You can guess. You can start cleaning, start really looking for holds, and then you can kind of, with experience, just kind of get a rough estimate of the grade, a rough estimate of how safe it is. And then the only thing left is chalk it up and try it. If you clean from the top down, it kind of helps with the dirt and management of all the crap that comes off the rock. Just kind of, if you go low and then go high, all the crap that you just cleaned gets dusty and gross. And so clean from the top down, preferably one pass. So after I'm done with this, I'll blow it off, put chalk on it, and then work my way down from there. Always visualize where you're going, what you'll need. And it's very easy to overlook like foot chips and stuff, but that's like some of the most important stuff, is to see where the feet are, and that kind of makes or breaks a rock climb. Just a piece of chalk, put it right down, and kind of just helps spread it around easier. Cool, I think we'll leave it at that. That's like, should be a pretty easy mantle, no problems, good feet. So there's a distinct sound that the rock makes when you're cleaning it and you tap on it. Solid rock, no hollow sound. But other places, if you tap on it, you can really hear it. We never want to be climbing over stuff that's hollow that could potentially just break, rip off the wall, sending you, careening down. That's always a bad thing. So we always check for safety reasons and for other people.
Oh, that's actually solid.
To me, these two seem like a very obvious start position.
It does.
Well, that's a boulder problem, I guess. Thinking about filling it with rocks first and then log. No!
You want to make safe landings. You want to have places to put crash pads. You want to make sure that, trees aren't in the way or brush isn't in the way. But you also want it to feel like you're still in the woods. You want it to feel like you're not just cutting down random stuff just to cut it down. But if it's going to make the climb safer, it's going to make the down climb safer, if it's going to make the landing zone appropriate, then yeah, we can do that. But it really shouldn't be doing more than that. And same thing with trails. Trails are an important part of the development, and maintaining those trails and making sure that people are using those trails and not coming up with their own kind of side trails as much as possible.
We need to redo that trail.
Yeah.
Like, not in a swamp.
Well, same spot that we left off. We've got a little bit to cut here, and then we need to cut
the top
at the top. But I think we should be able to get it done today. Yeah, I think the word development, it kind of depends on who you ask. From my perspective, it's a very large, broad topic, because you can look at anywhere from route development, and with route development comes, like the land. If we own the land, there's a lot of work that goes into getting a crag open like this one, that has sustainable trail infrastructure. I think a lot of climbers see development as just route developing, but even just with route development, there's a lot more that goes into that. You gotta clean all the rock, and that takes forever, and it's very tedious. And then, the bases around the cliffs, which is a lot of the work that we do, cutting trails, clearing trails, trees.
We're trying to get the trails so that they're within about 15% grade. We're getting all this topsoil here that just is non-compactable. We're getting all that off, and we're getting down to this good clay soil here that then can pack. And once that packs, it makes a very solid trail. But while we're doing this trail here, the ideal is the water will come down off the slope here, hit the trail, and instead of coming down the trail, because of the grade we have here, it'll continue off the trail. Because basically a lot of what we're trying to deal with is water more than we actually are people, and trying to get the water to move in a way that actually is efficient and doesn't destroy our trails.
Trees can lose 50% of their roots before they're really negatively impacted by what's happening. So these small trees here, while we're cutting their roots to put the trail in, we're not cutting more than 1/3 of the roots. So these trees are going to continue to live, they're going to continue to grow and thrive, and they're going to take the energy and put it into putting more roots down outside of where the trail is.
We've adopted this policy of pre-hardening, working at places before they get open, so that we don't have the issues like we've seen in the super popular areas that we've had to go back. They've been open for 20 years and they were bolted in the 90s, and now all of the soil from the cliff line has been eroding away.
In fact, what we're doing here today is a prime example, is that there's a new area up here that got bolted, but there was no trail besides a developer's trail. So we're out here putting a trail in so that we can then get access to the new area before everybody starts coming out here, and then using the old developer's trail, which was just basically, as I said, a water drainage. So, and the developers were very willing to work with us and not letting the information go public until we get the trail put into place.
Development's important because climbing is growing, right? And so we want, again, those places not only to hold the newcomers, but also to expand for that wild experience that some of us are seeking.
Everywhere that climbers go, whether it's state parks or private land or Forest Service land, the less impact we have, the more likely we're going to be able to continue to climb and utilize the resources for our enjoyment. The best way to get more climbing open and more areas open is to treat the areas that we currently use with respect and following the rules. Climbers come from here from all over the world. We get about 20,000 climber visits a year, just to Stone Fort.
Yeah, so Access Fund has worked with a number of professors to create these economic impact reports that are specifically focused on rock climbing. Visiting climbers bring in $13+ million a year to the local economy in all for rock climbing, with the intent of people visiting specifically for rock climbing, and they spend their money in town on food, groceries, lodging, things like that.
The growth has it's just been exploding recently as things grew. It was like the small family-owned businesses that were here grew organically, and that was really cool to see. And how areas grow, it just needs to be, I think, kept kind of like in check and done in a way that makes sense for the local community. And the people that have lived here their whole life, that's like, I think the most important, rather than just coming in and overrunning the whole community.
Climbing is a sport, it's an activity, but it also can be a lot more for these rural areas, and it can bring money to the table. It can be a viable economic driver. It can be a real sort of community hub and center for folks. You can either transition, a place from maybe a more extractive-based economy, something like oil and gas or timber, and sort of puts them on a path toward this sort of sustainable recreation that can be more viable in a future and long-term sense.
Having climbers come into town is important. It's crucial to have new money coming into the community. One of our biggest assets is just the natural resources that we have around us. We have 400 lakes from the city limits. We've got a downhill ski hill. We've got a golf course. We've got multiple trails. We've got the boulders north of town. And the most amazing part of those resources is they all surround a compact community that's right in the center of it. I can go and have my fun out in the wilderness, but within minutes be back in a city.
It was a mining town. Then it became, we're going to say, a retirement town. If there's nothing here for the younger people to enjoy and their kids to enjoy, they're not going to want to stay. So I think tourism is the best way to bring younger people here. Not a lot of people knew of all the beautiful terrain we have here. And I think getting that out to the public is just a good thing for the city overall. You approaching us about rock climbing had never entered my mind, but it's a perfect fit. It makes sense. We have the rocks here. And if that brings the people coming through, they're gonna come into our store.
We love the ability to share what we have with people, and it's so exciting and fulfilling to hear someone say, no, I'm not from here, but I chose to come here. And that, there's no better feeling than that, to share what we have with everyone else. And the more people that come to town, the better our resources become. And for the folks that live here in Elliott Lake, the better our assets become. The more money that gets invested back into the ski hill or the golf course or the bouldering or our restaurants. It's all full circle. So the money that tourists and climbers bring to the community ultimately just make our community better.
every single time that I'm at Gold Mine and I walk around that corner and I look at that line, I want to climb it. It's smack dab in the middle of Gold Mine with, you know, some of the best boulder problems surrounding it, and it is clearly the biggest and the coolest line of the entire area. It was a line that I wasn't sure if it went or not. I would look at it, I would try it on a rope, I would try different sequences for the upper crux, the stand start crux, and then trying to link the bottom into those. Not only did I not know how to do each section the correct way, but the boulder is so long that linking all of the moves together was really difficult to do because the holds are very small and very sharp.
Come on.
Developing is a labor of love. It's a labor of passion. It's expensive, and it's something that is done out of wonder, right? Like for what could be.
You're not using the sleeve. Why do you have it on there?
That was my bad. This is good. And actually, that's not even a pad.
He's trading a bit of his time and energy and probably the best year of his life to put the effort into developing and creating this place for the community, whereas I have no doubt that he had potentially a future of being like a professional climber and pushing the level of the sport. But at this point, he's decided that maybe he could have done that, but this is something that's more fulfilling, and it's something that he really cares more about for the long term of his life.
Man, what a sketchy ass last move.
Yeah. It has taken away a little bit as well, because like he doesn't really go on other trips to other places as often. If he has the opportunity to go, he wants to go to the Nooks. I kind of miss those other trips that we used to do with him, but he's also at another level climbing wise that makes it hard to go on trips at times because he's so much stronger.
I think Brendan is somebody who's given up quite a bit to be the main developer of the Nooks. Like, it takes somebody that has that almost like neurotic obsession to truly do something great and to give it back to the community and do it for them. Like that's pretty special. That's pretty incredible.
No matter how much I love to develop, it hurts me too, knowing that I have kind of taking these relationships with people and I have put them to the side.
I think I have just come a long way too. I think you would agree, especially with the Nooks in general. This is something that he really, really cares about. And I got to a point where I'm like who am I to put a damper on that at this point? Like, he's being really respectful of me and my time and what, like, when will work, when won't work, and he does his best to kind of accommodate me. I'm like, I gotta let him go.
She makes a sacrifice for me to be able to travel and to do these things. And that has meant the world to me, that she understands that. Hopefully it'll eventually slow down. I won't be as obsessed with going up and doing this whole thing and yeah, it is tough.
Coastal squats are my weakness. Oh. The cool line is traversing all the way over there, which just is really terrifying.
Dab.
Well, looks like we got one of those scenarios again where Brendan's cleaning is not good enough. To actually get this hold, I have to match this, which just really is extremely precarious.
A lot of my friends or family members would be like, why aren't you more scared? Or why aren't you like freaking out? I'm like, honestly, because I know his abilities, not only climbing, but in the in the wilderness or like in, yeah, just nature in general. Like he thrives out there, and I knew he'd be careful. Like, he really respects nature and he really respects the outdoors. So I think he knew just to like what to look out for, and not to say a freak accident couldn't have happened, but yeah, I wasn't ever really that scared.
Issues. Okay. Issues again.
Most trips up to the Nooks are just Brendan and I. He has an idea of a boulder that he wants to go scope out, or a boulder he wants to go develop or look for. We find the boulder, Brendan sets up a rope, maybe he sets up a ladder.
Oh man, I knew my harness felt weird.
You have it on upside down?
Don't know how harnesses work. Do it. I still have this wrong? What's happening? All right, I feel safe.
He'll rehearse the route on rope first, quite a bit, until he feels like he has it dialed in. Then it comes to him actually being able to try the boulder. He's done a few burns, he's sussed out the beta, he's figured it out. And I'm filming off to the side, so that means I can't spot him. So whatever pads that we were able to carry up, he sets those up and he tries the route, but I can't spot him because I'm filming. And we are without cell service in the middle of Canadian wilderness. So sometimes that feels pretty sketchy.
I don't remember what I did.
You're good. I think just trust that foot and stand up on it. Lean forward. You got it.
Ooh. Ooh, that felt a lot worse without a rope. Big toe. Yikes, that's a little freaky. I have another hand free. You want me to carry anything else?
Where are we going? We want to get firewood. From where? The wood store. Should we go down to the normal spot? Do it.
I can't do it on my own. Look at it.
It could go right here though. Honestly, we might be able to just pick it up in there. Are we in? Time out. It was too much.
That's really cool.
I know, I'm kind of committed now.
Are we on?
I think so. Okay. All right, we're on.
All right, that's safe. All right, back to normal log. We can do.
That's why we wear the chacos.
Nice. More daunting than I remember.
Take a nice ride on the slab if you fall.
Not even close. That was so bad. I am first ascenting right now. Like for real. Got a loose block coming down. Oh, what a saga! Between climbing and developing is so much harder. It's such a toll on the body. You're not really having fun. It is 99% like pretty heinous. All that work for developing, trail building, bushwhacking, cleaning boulders. Once that's all done, then you got to get pads there. You got to set them down, and then you got to hop on the boulder and you got to climb it. Nice, come on. The climbing industry really puts a light on a lot of hard or scary climbing that happens, whether it's bouldering or sport climbing, 15D or V17. But what's not highlighted is the people in the sport that actually have to go out and clean the rock and do everything to actually make an ascent happen. And I'm one of many that are just underground people that love exploring and doing all the hard work that make this sport possible. We're doing some pretty rad stuff too. There's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that most people don't know. I don't know how areas have grown in the past. It must have been word of mouth before the internet. And I'm trying to just break that pattern. I want to use social media and Instagram, Kaya, YouTube, anything I can do to show people this place. Kaya has been a great resource for me as a developer. The original guidebook became obsolete pretty quick because of the continued development that we did up there. It was so easy for me to update this online database and be able to do first ascents and the following day be able to put them on the app, and so people can go discover the new things that I've done and they can have just as much fun on them as I am. Currently, you can go to the Nooks and climb at 6 different areas. The original guidebook had about 120 boulder problems in it, and now with Kaya we have over 370 from V0 to V13.
I think the Nooks has the ability to maintain its innocence. And by that I mean I think it's got the possibility, it's got the volume to stay wild, it's got the location to stay wild.
I think it already has some of the best boulders in the country on any scale of rating, whether you're talking how it looks, how it climbs, the quality of the rock, the quality of the surroundings, safe landings, how fun it is, the movement, the holds. It is all here.
it is that good in my mind that it could be that zone where people travel to come to this place.
Contributing in a way that makes me feel better than climbing some random grade somewhere. At least I can give back to people. Like I love it for myself. I love doing first ascents, but I also love when people come up there to enjoy the Nooks for what it's become. To see people climbing on boulders that I had so much fun and have so much memories on is something truly special. And I wouldn't change that for the world.
We see that in Brendan today as being a mentor to others that are kind of in the same boat that he was when he was younger.
We just talked to him about that not too long ago. Brendan, you're that mentor now.
Yeah, encourager. Yeah.
Like Dan and Adam were for you. That is becoming you for these younger kids, and that's what you have to do to encourage this to keep going.
That's right.
And I think for him, like it started out as an obsession and stuff, but it has become something of a community thing for him where, yeah, he wants it for himself. He wants, to meet his goals, but he also just wants to share it with other people, and he wants to see other people kind of find that love as well.
I think we're very, very proud of Brendan and what he's accomplished throughout his life and the type of person that he has become.
Come on. Come on.
When I was climbing it, I was
When I combined climbing with searching for boulders and scrubbing them and cleaning them and doing first ascents and putting out the information and guidebooks and all that stuff, it gave me more of a purpose. It really felt like I was doing something and not just traveling to some area to climb some boulders that other people did. It actually felt like I was doing something meaningful for the sport.
It's been pretty incredible just to see what a dedicated person he is, not only to just a place, but to the people that he shares it with. This has just really been life-giving to him. And as his wife, you know, especially as it's starting out as a kind of complicated and almost negative source of contention in our marriage and our life. It has come full circle. And I have never been more proud. Yeah. He's just an incredible person. He is so dedicated and so hardworking. I should tell him that more. I am so proud of him. Yeah. Like, for something that started off of literal Google satellite.
I've never probably climbed a boulder as well as I climbed that. And that's exactly how I wanted to do it. And I let out the exact scream that I thought I would in topping out that boulder. Really, quite honestly, was quite special.
Buddy.
That was a... Oh, you good?
Oh, are we recording? Yeah. I was just enjoying the...
That was a weak fire. I was like, what's going on?
So here's my PSA. If you're wearing headphones at the gym, I'm not going to talk to you.
Brendan and I was just, obviously that was just like romance. It's like,
sorry, I looked directly at the camera when I said that.
I mean, honestly, I was always jealous of Brendan because he was just so strong.
You should have put on your macro lens. No. The opposite of the macro lens. Correct.
Oh, the stream. Slapping the basswood, and this thing is maybe one of the best boulders in Canada, actually. And the car is a stone's throw away.
It's alright, there's only a little bit of water coming into the boat.